a little dramatic. Just a little. But being able to stop your car just a few feet sooner could be the difference between doing no damage or a lot of damage. I installed the Mountain Pass Performance Page Mill front brake pads, and I'm going to show you how for just over $200 and a little DIY, you can save lives. As usual, this video is broken up into chapters so you can skip around to whatever you want to see. In this video, I do an unboxing, I do a beginner DIY install, then I do 60 to 0 tests using a dragy with a review, and then finally we look at the results and have a discussion. Well, I discuss and you hopefully listen, and you can comment below. Wow. If you got anything in your car, it's all up in the front seat now. Jesus. All right, guys, awesome unboxing time. And look at the way these boxes came from UPS last time. Everything was like open or not sealed properly. Ooh, it's got to be the pads. Then what is this? Because, oh, all right. I think they sent me everything, even though, oh, somebody had their greasy fingers on this. High performance brake pads. Even though I was told that something was back ordered, maybe it was not. I just expected to have brake pads in here. And here they are. Ooh. Ooh, ah. All right. Look good, look good. Let's get these on. I'm actually right in the middle of testing right now. I ran a few runs with the stock pads, and now I've got to swap these out. Ooh. This looks like love it. Christmas in May. Whoa. Oh, wow. This looks sweet. This is a master cylinder support. Master cylinder bracket, and boy, that looks good. That looks really cool. I might just, I don't know, I could just hang it here. Some of this other stuff out of the way. Yeah, that looks good just on the wall. I might just leave it there. Ha! All right. Oh, that's cool. I did not even think this was coming for a while, so that is awesome. Mountain Pass. Oh, look at that. It's even signed with a thank you. That is awesome. These guys are great. High quality Allen bolts. Awesome. But for now, let's get back to the pads. I have to install these suckers quick because I'm running out of time tonight. So these guys are still a little bit hot because I am testing them. Okay, yeah, that's pretty hot. I can't keep my hand on it. I might be okay with these gloves. And I didn't really want to turn this into a how-to video because there's a lot of these videos out there on how to maintain your brakes, change your pads. And changing pads are pretty easy on this car. These are, I believe these are Brembo, like a whole Brembo setup in the front anyway with, is that a 2-piston? Yeah, it looks like a 2-piston caliper. In the back, it's just a kind of a same old 1-piston deal. I might have to find a different tap. Now let me tap this one in as much as I can for now. But all you got to do basically is take these 2 pins out, take this retainer clip out, and then you can swap the new pads in. So it's pretty nice in that way. So if I take some tension off that, I still can't. I gotta find a longer, thinner punch. Hold on. Okay, this isn't that bad at all, but you can see some rust and rust and a little wear. I have to make sure we lube these up, clean them up, clean them, lube them, and oh yeah, see, of course, this one comes right out. So remember how those go back in. It's pretty simple. Can I get these out? No, because the pistons have been pushed in, pressed in, because, you know, you're braking, and they do release a little bit, but not enough to make these loose. So try to push them out of the back end here. There we go. All right, I was able to push them from the underside. Brembo. So these pads are not bad, but they are not as good as the Mountain Pass ones should be. You know, these have a lot of compromises to them generally. Usually the performance pads will create more brake dust and things like that. Although the pads that Mountain Pass sells, they say there's really not any brake dust on them or anything, or they don't create a lot of brake dust. So we'll find out. And yeah, these calipers and everything here, you know, these are so new. There's really hardly any issue with these at all in terms of being dirty or corroded or rusted anywhere. I am going to do some cleaning, especially where these new pads are going to go, and just in general. This brake cleaner can be a little bit toxic. Actually, a lot toxic sometimes. But you gotta get the brake dust out of there. This stuff eats plastic sometimes. You don't want to spray this on your paint, or, you know, you don't want to go crazy with this, but it's a killer cleaner though. And brake clean, if you've never used it before, it's awesome. It dries, like it really dries nicely. It eliminates all kinds of oil and crud, and usually shoots out of the can super hard, so it just blows things out of the way. These pads are all identical. It's not like there's a front and back side that they specify. Okay, next, brake grease. So basically on every contact point, you generally want to put some grease. Not a lot, but a little bit. So I'm going to be putting them on these edges here. And you got to be real careful not to get anything on the brake surface or on your rotor. If you do, that's why you got a bunch of brake cleaner. So let me put bit on there, and this is too much, but what I'm going to do also is yeah, I've got way too much here on my finger. Okay, no, this is good. Generally you want to coat the back of new pads. What I might have an issue with though is okay, since the old pads and the new pads aren't a lot different in terms of thickness, because these are barely used, you're able to get these in there without pushing the pistons back out. But if your pads are pretty worn and you're putting new pads in general, you're going to have an issue, and you're going to have to push these pistons out in order to get your new pads in. So this is kind of nice when you're just upgrading these pads, you know, before the old ones are really worn. So nice on a Tesla to not have to be changing brake pads often. But your brakes actually do need servicing. So they need servicing because things corrode. And even though the pads aren't worn, the system's not going to be working well. You know, things could seize up and just not function as well as they should. So you still end up needing maintenance on your brakes. Okay, you know what? I'm gonna make sure my fingertips are clean. of a wire brush and clean these guys off. And this end piece here, this is like a pressure fitting thing. When you pound it in, it keeps tension on this pin. I'm used to seeing little like cotter pins or something to hold these in, but on these super high performance brakes, they don't do that. So let me see if I've got these holes lined up first. Okay, it's lined up pretty good. And clean this other one off. This other one looks more dirty. Okay, then put a thin film of grease on them. Looking good. On with the brake test. Okay, these are the OEM brake pads, regen set to low. I'm not going to show all the runs. I made 5 runs here with the dragy, just kind of showing you what was going on, but I don't want to bore you with all of the runs. So I summarized them here, and let's look at what we've got. So the first couple runs, well, actually the first run, I don't know why, 148 feet, so let's just throw that one out, okay? The other runs, 131.8, 133.8, 138.07. That's also kind of high. It's a little bit out of range. Let's be nice. Let's just throw that one out also. The next run, last run, 133.3. I thought after these 5 runs, I had a pretty good data set, you know, good enough. Let's average these out, 133.02 feet for the stock pads, and just kind of interesting, the average time, 3.17 seconds for whatever that's worth. Now, mountain pass, front brake pads only. Again, regen set to low. Oh my God. Some people off on the side of the road are like, what the hell was that? Wow, okay, so yeah, that stopped like a lot faster. I mean, okay, it was way more aggressive. Let's just put it that way. All right, I'm not sure if it stopped faster. I'm gonna look at some numbers here. Okay, so it looks like it stopped at least a few feet shorter. I'm gonna figure out the averages in that, but so what I noticed was that it was more aggressive. When it stopped, like, just the ABS kicks on, you know, regardless whether you've got new pads, old pads, but the tire squealing was more pronounced. Everything just felt more aggressive. It looks like it stopped a few feet shorter than the OEM pads, and I don't know if I could really feel that as much as it's mostly what you feel with the ABS and what you hear with the tires was just more aggressive. Like, this thing is stopping harder, and we'll get all the numbers together, but yeah, it's they're working. They're working. Let's go at it again. Wow. If you got anything in your car, it's all up in the front seat now. Jesus. So here are all the runs with the mountain pass pads on, averaging out at 127.8 feet. And once again, we've got 5 different stops here as our full set of data. And I'm going to show you what I did, because I didn't keep all of these runs either. So let's review everything here right off the bat. The OEM pads show you how I got down to the average of 133 feet, knocking off the two highest runs there. Those are most likely outliers. And now the MPP pads, we see all the runs here, a couple of them that look really low. This 121.18 feet, you know, that's fantastic. That could be for real, but I'm going to be conservative here because none of the other runs were close to that, so I'm going to knock that one out of the data set. And then I'm going to leave in the 133.68 feet, even though it's pretty high. All right, so I'm being pretty conservative with these numbers. And how do we end up? We end up with a 3.55 feet advantage to the Mountain Pass pads. 3.5 feet, that's a pretty big distance. As I said in the beginning of the video, I mean, it doesn't take much distance to be the difference between completely slamming into another car or obstacle or not, or just completely missing it. This is real. This is real data. Again, this is very conservative also. Something else I want to point out after looking at all the data that I have and the different times that I made my runs. Now, the OEM pads had an average cooling time between all of the runs of 9.5 minutes. And this was just because I was trying to set the camera up. Then after replacing the pads, I went back out there and I was able to make the runs a lot faster. So the average time between passes with the Mountain Pass pads was pretty much half of that, 4 minutes and 45 seconds. So these pads were a lot hotter and they still stopped 3.5 feet shorter. And again, these aren't the track pads, so they're not designed to be working in these hotter environments necessarily. You know, the track pads, they tell you they need to be hot in order to get them to work better. But at the same time, I don't really know for this compound. Maybe they also work better the hotter you get them. But I just thought I would throw that in there. Okay, in summary, final word. Buy these pads, okay? You're buying insurance. $200 buys you 3.5 feet of decreased stopping distance. How can you possibly go wrong? This is the cheapest insurance you could possibly buy for this car. Coming next, I review some upgraded rotors. They look fantastic. How well do they work? Like and subscribe, you'll find out.